We are naturally, innately doers. This is who we are as ambitious, go-getter type A women. That is not going to change. I'm not interested in changing that in other people or myself. What I am interested in is learning how to balance that with being. That starts from awareness, knowing what the world has done to us, learning how to fix that hole in our bucket, doing some internal work to make sure that we are maintaining who we naturally are, because we have gifts to give this world. I mean, I love your message so much. We need to make some money. Ladies, go make money, charge your worth, do the things that you're meant to be doing in this world.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 136 of the Game On Girlfriend podcast. So we have a lot going on in the world when it comes to the hustle. And I know you know what I mean. All I have to say is hustle. And you're like, wow. Right. Or if you're like me, it's like, please stop saying that word, right? Let's knock it off. And if that has been you, I'm really happy you're here today because I have an expert named Jessica Butts who is making it her life's mission to help us all heal the hustle. She's a 3-time author, Myers Briggs expert, and she does a lot of corporate training and keynote speaking. We get really honest. There's a lot of swearing, so please put in headphones if you have littles around. And it wasn't quite what I expected, but I did find it to be quite healing. Some of it's a little bit raw, to be totally straight. It's such an interesting time to be a woman, and specifically to be a woman in business. While we really wanted to talk about the hustle and how we heal that, what ended up happening is we talk about that, but we also go deeper into what's happening for women at large right now. And you guys know, I talk all the time about how as women, we're not really supposed to handle money. Like there's that undercurrent in our society that like, shh, right? That's really up for the men. Like you guys can make your cute money. You guys can have your cute businesses, but when it's real money, we know who does that. And there's a lot of energy around that. And I think what Jessica talks about when she's talking about business trauma, right? She is a psychotherapist, right? So she goes deep into the trauma that we're experiencing as business owners and the trauma that we've experienced as women. Personal development is a massive, massive part of being a fantastic business owner. And it's very difficult to grow your business if you're not dealing with what's going on with you as a human, trauma being a large part of that. So I hope you listen for what she says she learned as she was becoming a therapist, what she learned in school about the holes in the bottom of our buckets. So cool. And I think really, really important. So definitely pop in those earphones. Without further ado, let's get to it. Jessica, welcome to the Game On Girlfriend podcast.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm really, really, really thrilled to be here. Thrilled.
Oh boy, ain't this the time for all women to come together and have really great conversations, right?
Preach, like sister, preach.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, we really need each other more than ever. And I'm feeling a pressure to hustle, and I'm an anti-hustler, like, right? Yeah. So I'm so excited to have you come and talk about how to heal this. And can you share with us a little bit of your history and your story and why this is what you do?
I was married for a gazillion years, and I was oppressed and suppressed in that marriage. He was an addict, and there was just all kinds of behaviors. And so I didn't really come into my own until I was probably 36, 37. And I decided to go back to graduate school and become a psychotherapist. In graduating, I was on it, Sarah. I was on it. I just wanted to do all the things. And all of this hustle really started, I think, from a day on Maui. I now live on Maui, which is ironic. Started about 10 years ago, and we were walking, and he was slowing down, getting sober. And I was just now, like, I just woke up. I feel like I just woke up, and we were taking a walk, and I was walking in front of him, which I realize is kind of rude, but I was walking in front of him, and he said, "Can you slow down?" And Sarah, every molecule in my body screamed internally, "I can't." And all I wanted to do was do everything because I felt like I had been held down for so many years. So whether that's through motherhood or the wrong marriage or the wrong job or not being unapologetically who you are, I'm a Myers Briggs personality type expert. And one of my passions is really helping people understand who they are. And so I had not been who I was designed to be. Like, I believe in God. I believe we're all put on this planet for a reason. And that had been suppressed. So that 10-year hustle started on that day, which was about 10 years ago, literally right down the street from here. And I then just went nuts, Sarah. I went nuts. I mean, I started a podcast. I wrote a book. I started my private practice, my therapy practice, which I still do. And I was coaching, and then people started reaching out and like, oh, can you teach me how to do this? And I thought, sure, I can do that. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, Sarah, I was on, it was moving faster than I could even imagine. And it was, I'm hiring people and I'm spending more money on my business, quite honestly, than I'm taking home. And I'm paying my employees before I'm paying myself. And I got straight, it was sexy, Sarah. It was sexy. I mean, I was, making the money and feeling good and doing all the things because, just like most of your listeners, we have a certain personality type, which is a J personality type. It means we are organized, decisive decision makers, go-getters, ambitious, type A, overachievers, want to do all the things, want to change the world, like make a huge difference. So obviously, fast forward to COVID.
Yeah.
And as a very intuitive woman, I just saw all of this unfolding. And so I went through this, as so many other people did, this kind of transformational process of just figuring out what's important. Not everyone's going to do what I did, but I sold everything I own. I left everything to come find some peace and start healing this hustle of figuring out, again, what is super important, because it's not outside of us. It's an internal job. It is an internal job. We over busy. I mean, that is an addiction, by the way. Like, it is a straight up addiction to seek things outside of us. These phones, this shit is, I mean, it is the ultimate addiction. It's the ultimate high. It's a hit. And we are now programmed, like the part one is how we got here. We live in a society that tells us we're supposed to be everything, but yet we're lesser than. It's utterly exhausting. And that has been part of the hustles, trying to keep up with all of that stuff.
Do all the things, but we're not going to pay you. What I think the hustle, the reason it hooks into women so viciously is that we're supposed to sort of rate ourselves or feel good about ourselves based on how much we produce out in the world. But PS, don't get paid for it.
The healing, the hustle concept is really about a bucket. So when I was in graduate school, I was given this great analogy of that we are all buckets. And each one of us has a hole in the bottom of our bucket based on trauma. We are in a trauma response right now. All of us have been through a trauma response. We all have a hole in the bottom of our bucket. For some, it's a pinprick. And for some, based on the traumas of our past, our personality type, our nature, and our nurture, this is what makes us up. Learned behaviors and our innate personality type. And so understanding those two things about ourselves with a therapist or a coach or whoever, understanding like all of the trauma responses of your family of origin, your culture of origin, your gender, all of that factors into how we're showing up every single day in our business and our lives and everything. And so that hole in the bottom of our bucket, for some, is just a pinprick based on possibly your socioeconomic status, your privilege, our white privilege, being a white man in the society, or again, you've done no therapy, you've had a ton of trauma in your life, and you have a hole in the bottom of your bucket. So what we do as human beings is we go outside of ourselves. We look to fill our bucket by over busying, over shopping, over sexing. This, If we are so busy all the time and we're so chaotic energy, nothing can land on us, like no ideas. So that's just a side note.
That's
So
interesting.
our work, Sarah, is to repair that hole in our bucket with therapy, coaching, podcasts like this, learn who the fuck we are, learn who we are, what our triggers are, all of that. And then learning how to set some boundaries. So repairing that hole again through internal work. And then when that hole becomes just a small little pinprick, we have to go outside of ourselves less. We don't have to go fill it up externally. This is why it's an internal job.
Holy cannoli, is it ever? And I hope you guys, I hope all of you listening, just take a beat and just see if you can feel where the hole in your bucket is. If you can't sit still, if you can't be with yourself, if you're constantly chasing, you might want to notice that.
Setting boundaries around the meetings and the everything we have going on. Again, that was a perfect example as someone sitting getting a pedicure thinking they're filling their bucket. It's the Instagram, TikTok worthy version of, oh, I'm filling my bucket. No, you're actually not. You're getting a freaking pedicure and you're on your phone the entire time. So this is another reference is Gino Wickman's book, Rocket Fuel, is one of the best books ever written about integrators and visionaries. And integrators are doers and visionaries are the people who stare out the window so that they have ideas, so that they're not on their phone. They don't have computers. They are thinking without all of the chaos. And so I'm here to suggest is that our front seat, which is our driver and our co-pilot, the two best parts of our personality type, one is extroverted and the other is introverted. And energy wise, energy speaking, every single person, even extroverts, I'm assuming you are as well, I am as well, super extroverted. 50%, Sarah, 50% of our time needs to, not should, I don't believe in shoulds, needs to be time staring out the window, time to journal, time to turn the phone off, time to meditate, time to walk in silence and just
without a phone. Yes.
What if you felt your feelings for an hour a day? What if you thought your own thoughts without the influence of something else?
It's almost like granting the permission, right, to breathe. And that's what I was feeling as you were talking, as I felt my shoulders slouch down a little bit. I heard myself sigh of just the deliciousness of that and that we rob ourselves of it.
But I want to be really clear that my work around this is not about not being ambitious, but it is about learning how to balance the being and the doing. We are naturally, innately doers. This is who we are as ambitious go-getter type A women. That is not going to change. I'm not interested in changing that in other people or myself. What I am interested in is learning how to balance that with, again, my one and only tattoo, being. And that starts from awareness, knowing what the world has done to us, social media, the patriarchy, this crazy intense world that we live in. Again, identifying that hole in our bucket, understanding our nature and nurture, setting some boundaries, learning how to fix that hole in our bucket, doing some internal work, and then all of the tools necessary to make sure that we are maintaining who we naturally are, because we have gifts to give this world. I mean, I love your message so much. We need to make some money. We are the influencers. We live in a future world. I love your message. Ladies, go make money.
Yes.
Go make money, charge your worth, do the things that you're meant to be doing in this world, and then be a lesson to your daughters, be a lesson to men in the world, be a lesson to yourself, that we get to gift ourselves with some strong ass boundaries. And we got to figure out what those boundaries are. It's with other people, it's with social media, it's with chaos. I will save you hundreds of thousands of hours of your life. Stop trying to change your environment or the people around you. Like, you're just not going to do it. What you can do is change yourself. As Viktor Frankl says, that's where the personal freedom comes in, is between the stimulus and our response. What we can control is our response.
You guys, please hear me when I say this. I have been talking about this on Sarah Uncut. I've been talking about it on the podcast, and Jessica just nailed it. You guys, no matter what work you choose, you do not get to lift yourself up out of your humanity. You will always be human, and life will always continue to happen to you, right? Like Jessica was just saying, the stimulus will always be there, you guys. It will be there for every single one of us all day, every day. That does not go away because you're an amazing therapist. That does not go away because you're a business coach. That does not go away because you're a good person, right? Like, this is the human condition, and really listening and understanding the forces that are at work on how you're viewing yourself and your life and how you're responding. That's real, and it is at work. And the only way through it, Jessica, I love what you said, is to go inside, because people are going to people, right? We got to just be on the inside dealing with us and who we want to be in the face of what's being presented. And that is the gorgeous opportunity in front of each one of us. As we deal with this life, is to look at, who am I becoming as I'm learning to deal with these stimulus? What's happening to me? I love how you talk about making the hole in the bucket smaller. How are we dealing with that? That's on us. Right? And I mean, Jessica, this is so important.
We need more, another term I learned in graduate school that I love, TAO, which is transparency, authenticity, and openness. And we live, unfortunately, in a society, and I see this with a lot of business coaches right now, that, oh, everything's fine. Like, watching that through COVID, I was disgusted, pretending that it's fine, pretending that doing more and more and more stuff on social is going to improve that. We live in a different world right now. We got to get smarter. We have to think better. We have to be transparent and authentic and open with ourselves first, and then our clients. And I believe wholeheartedly that being real, getting honest, being transparent with your listeners, which you totally are, and I love that about you, is part of our work. And I believe wholeheartedly that doing that in your work versus pretending you're perfect is going to help your business so much more than anything else. Is just showing up, keeping it real.
I call it entrepreneur porn. When people do that, like, everything's gorgeous, I make $1 million while I sleep on the beach. Like, it's just not real. And it's so damaging to women who get caught up in this entrepreneur porn, this toxicity, this I'm gorgeous, look at everything I've purchased, all of these things. That avenue, instead of, oh my God, I'm miserable. I'm not in love. I'm not happy with my life. I don't enjoy this. My business is failing. I'm paying everybody but me, right? And for us to really talk about, hold on, you guys, your business is a compilation of what you're here to do, packaged beautifully so it can help other people, and you have a living. The end. Jessica, I think what you're doing is really important in being honest about this and in sharing the truth of a woman's journey and what that can look like at times, all the way from crazy condo companions to, to marriage and business, and this style, this way of going through life. We're making sure everyone else is taken care of. Everything else is all right, when we're dying inside to the point where every molecule in your body had to scream no. Right, you guys, there's a connection there we need to start making by healing the hole in the bucket.
There is not a one size fits all. When I was talking about putting out Healing the Hustle, and whenever that comes out, and the summer school around it, just the whole concept about it, one of my friends said, okay, so how do we get you like on the bestsellers list, and how do we get you on Oprah, and how do we make this up? And I thought, and I just listened to your podcast while I was getting ready this morning, and you said something about this too, is that what if it's just a love letter to women? We are doing this because we want to make a difference. Yes, there are ways to monetize it. Hire Sarah. She will help you figure it out. There are ways to monetize that, but there is many different ways. And based on your personality type and your core values, what you want out of life, you've got to find the way that works for you. And that is what you're talking about this, the social media porn and the toxicity, is that we watch other people that, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Maybe those aren't your strengths. And maybe you don't have to have a best-selling book. Maybe you just do it because that is what the universe put you on this planet to do. What if it helps one person? I'm just sick of the one size fits all. I'm sick of women feeling like we have to fit in this box when we get to share our gifts however we want to share our gifts. Yes, we monetize the shit out of it. Yes, we have value, right? But there's just, I just think that is part of the toxicity, is the comparison world that we live in right now.
Yeah. Agreed. So you guys, first of all, Jessica, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you guys, I hope you really take this one to heart. I know this was like two girlfriends sitting down and having coffee for a little bit. I love it when my podcast and I'm like that. Jessica, thank you for being so amenable to that. And you guys, I hope you just get to listen in and just sort of I would love for you to pick one thing you heard from Jessica today, one thing from this conversation that you can take to heart and really see what there is for you to change, because the game is on. Jessica, how can people find you and learn more about you?
Yeah, so very simply, jessicabutts.com has kind of got all the stuff. And then I'm Healing the Hustle on Instagram. Those are my two playgrounds.
Love it. Jessica, thank you again for being here with us.
Thank you.